ask me for my password there.
Yeah. I don't have, I got it. I got a couple people outside.
I do have one in 17.
Yeah.
He surrenders at the end.
I mean, I
Well,
always.
that's.
I'm ready, I'm ready.
Are we gonna do lights like this?
Yeah, area access.
I only have it on
Okay.
gone, so I can scroll.
We're missing just Vicky.
It's in my.
Yep.
I just have it set up
Okay.
so.
Good evening, everybody. You are at a common council of the city of Wausau. It is March 25th, 2025. It is 6:31 p.m. You're in the council, City Hall Council chambers. Please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And would the clerk call the roll, please?
We have 10 voting members present, and one Alder Tierney is excused.
Hey, we have one proclamation tonight. We have the city receives HUD funding, and as a result of that, some requirements, and that is to recognize Fair Housing Month. And we have a proclamation here. We do have a recipient today that we can present it to, and we'll be presenting that to Diane Senholtz. So here goes. Proclamation reads, whereas the Fair Housing Act, enacted on April 11th, 1968, established federal law to eliminate housing discrimination and promote equal opportunity in housing throughout the United States, and whereas this landmark legislation prohibits discrimination in housing based on race, color, religion, sex, familial status, national origin, and disability, ensuring that all individuals have the right to obtain housing without facing prejudice. Whereas the City of Wausau is committed to fostering an environment where all residents have fair and equal access to housing opportunities, recognizing that welcoming neighborhoods strengthen our city, and whereas April 2025 marks the 57th anniversary of the Fair Housing Act, serving as a reminder of the ongoing need to combat housing discrimination and support policies and programs that expand access to affordable, safe, and quality housing for all. And whereas the City of Wausau will observe Fair Housing Month with educational initiatives, community events, and outreach efforts to promote awareness, inclusion, and opportunity in housing. Now therefore be it resolved that I, Doug Denny, Mayor of the City of Wausau, do hereby proclaim April 2025 as Fair Housing Month in the City of Wausau, and encourage all residents to join in supporting efforts that promote fair and equal housing opportunities for all.
I just want to say thank you for this proclamation and for supporting Fair Housing Month. I will be working with Sarah to do some initiatives. Thank you.
And up next is public comments, pre-registered citizens for matters appearing on the agenda and other public comment. We have one, and it is Carrie Marole.
Hello, my name is Carrie Marole. I'm at 1025 Everest Boulevard in Wausau. I've been here many times before. I'm here again tonight to once again say, and I'm speaking directly to you, Doug, please, for the whole city of Wausau, the constituents of our area, to bring people together to actually get some stuff done, we need to find a way to stop the shenanigans, stop the bullying, and get to work. The taxpayers of the city of Wausau deserve it. They expect it from the elected officials, which includes you. And it's time to stop being a mockery and having all this social media craziness over things that frankly are childish. I have a 7-year-old that would be grounded right now. I mean, it's just not okay. And it doesn't go unnoticed. I mean, I think I read a lot of social media comments today, and one thing I can say is a good large majority of them agree that this is silly. It makes us all look bad as a community, and it erodes confidence in the whole process. And I think it would be a nice time to finally put that stuff aside so we can get some work done.
Thank you. Any further comments? All right, up next, communication and recommendations from the mayor. Just a quick note. The city newsletter, the quarterly newsletter is out, and one item in here we haven't formally announced for at a council meeting was the promotion of Sean Carriger. I'd like to announce that today. Promoted from Community Risk Reduction Specialist to Division Chief of Inspections, which is formerly the Fire Marshal. So congratulations to Sean Carriger. And then one other minor little highlight here that I don't know if anyone knows, but we do have a city poet laureate who's been waiting for an opportunity to help us out with a poem and has presented one in here that I'd like to read tonight. And that's Tiffany Rodriguez Lee, Hope Springs Eternal. Today feels harsh as winter's wind, and while I want to stay inside, protect myself from the cold, Hope Springs Eternal is knocking at my door. She invites me outside, for the season is changing, whether I'm ready or not. She tells me it is time to wake up with the birds and listen to their songs. It is time to unfurl the light like the fiddlehead fern in the yard. It is time to tend to the garden with hands in the dirt. It is time to plant the seeds for tomorrow's bloom. It is time to nurture each other and care for our neighbors. All we can do is answer Hope Springs Eternal when she knocks on the door, because it won't be winter forever. We have work to do. Thank you, Tiffany Rodriguez Lee. All right, so we're looking for a short meeting tonight because we have the grand awaiting us. It doesn't have to be a record, but we want to be heading out of here at about 20 after 7 if we can. First up is consent agenda. I didn't see any items pulled from that, so I would entertain a motion. We have a motion from Watson, second from Hankey.
You may begin voting. Motion passes 10-0.
Under resolutions and ordinances, we have no mayor's appointments tonight. Up first is file number 24-1109C. It's a finance resolution adopting the 2025 budget change of purpose for budget modification for funding 2025 street improvement projects in tax increment District 3. That came from finance approved 5-0. Have a motion from Rasmussen, second from Larson. Questions, comments? Seeing none.
You may begin voting. Motion passes 10-0.
Next two items require suspension of the rules under 6B, filing and/or 12A, referral of resolutions. Requires a 2/3 vote. We have a motion to suspend the rules from Lucan, second from Watson.
I'll Alder Neal, did you mean to request to amend? May begin voting. Motion passes 9-1.
All right, so then that first item under that suspension of the rules is file number 22-1104. It's a finance and ED resolution approving purchase and development agreement with 700 Grand Apartments LLC for a 50-unit affordable multifamily housing project at 700, 804, 806, 810, 814, and 816 Grand Avenue, and sale of real estate. And that was pending, I think it was split there. There was ED was
Yeah.
4-1. Help me out.
Finance was unanimous.
Finance was unanimous. Carol Lukens and ED.
ED vote,
It was,
3-1, 3-1, 3-1.
3-1 in economic development. Have a motion from Hanky, second from Rasmussen. Alder Larson.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I will not be supporting these next two items, and I will give my reasoning to it. For one, it's not that I'm definitely for affordable housing and workforce housing. I am all for it, just not in this spot. I've got three things I want to touch on. First of all, I don't believe there's going to be enough parking here. When they say there's going to be 44 units downstairs and 30 out on the lawn or out in the yard, that's only 74 spots. And when you've got a 50-unit apartment building, you figure a car and a half per unit, that ends up being 75 cars. And that being said, too, if any one of these tenants want to have any friends over or something for a picnic or cards or whatever, there's just not going to be any place to park. And not only is there not going to be any place to park, there's no place to park around there. There's nothing. And for two, there's just not enough room to build this. When I travel through the city, I look at what Gorman's doing down here, how the land that they're taking up, the 2 lanes of traffic they're taking up, to build this unit. I just don't see how this can be done on this lot. I mean, sure, it's easy enough to say, well, yeah, you can store construction stuff across the street on the land we own, but you're still going to be disrupting traffic on the busiest corner to move this stuff around. And overall, I think that is going to compromise the safety of this corner, and I just don't believe it's safe to do. And lastly, I have concerns about the traffic going in and out of there. Many of you know that I drive Uber around the city and stuff, and I generally tend to avoid Thomas Street between the hours of 3 and 5 o'clock, because you're just going to get stalled in traffic, and I can't imagine anybody trying to get in and out of this building on that corner at 3 to 5 o'clock in the afternoon. I would love to see this go someplace else. I know the city's got plenty of other inventory they could put this building on, and I would love to see it go any place else but here, and I will not be putting it here. Thank you.
Thank you. Alder Rasmussen.
Thank you. I do hope that we will support this project. We have a need for affordable housing units. We frankly can't get them quickly enough. It took the developer 2 years to get the federal tax credits that they've been awarded for this project, and those are project and site specific. So we can't just pick this project up and move it somewhere else. And, we really do need the units. I am confident that our staff will be able to manage the construction while it's underway, and any traffic impacts that are necessary on a short-term basis if they're building towards the eastern or northern section of that lot. So I do hope that we support this project. It has been multiple years in the making, and we really do need those units in our city. Thank you.
Thank you. Alder Martins.
Okay, thank you. This development sits adjacent to my district. My district's right across the street on Grand Avenue. And we've had a lot of conversation in our neighborhood meetings about the traffic flow and the potential for increased traffic on this intersection. I think, earlier this evening in our joint finance and economic development meeting, we had quite the robust conversation about what has gone on in the planning in order to bring this development to fruition, especially in regards to traffic flow and traffic planning. And a lot of work and thought has gone into how to mitigate some of the situations in traffic flow for for people traveling down Thomas and Grand Avenue, and also for the residents of this development. And I think they've done an excellent job, especially with the consideration on for right out and right turns in to the property. If you just travel a little bit further north on Grand Avenue to where the Quick Trip is, that is a major traffic snarl. I mean, people trying to make left turns into there and left turns out of there, and it's that Quick Trip is a mess. But a lot of that should not be the case with this particular development, in that if we maintain a flow of right turns in, and with and then also just to kind of bring things up here, while it is a challenging location, I think it's also a great location for this kind of development, as especially with the park across the street, Hammond Park. I find that with the added units here, we're going to see a lot more activity in Hammond Park, a lot of positive activity, and maybe even social interaction between the residents in these units and Riverview Towers, which would actually be a great thing. So I'm looking forward to this development, and I will be supporting this development.
Thank you. Alder Killian.
I would just like to reiterate a little bit of what I said during the Joint Finance and ED Committee meeting. The ED staff has spoken so highly of Commonwealth and the efforts that they have made to place this development on these parcels have been commendable. But I have received such significant feedback from my constituents about non-support of this location for this development, and everyone is in support of more affordable housing, but this location is a tremendous concern for many regarding safety and traffic particularly. So I also will be unable to support the next two items on the agenda. Thank you.
Thank you. Alder Lukens.
Thank you, Mayor. I also will reiterate what I said in the last meeting, the Joint Finance and ED meeting. So this is in my district. It's at the northernmost point of my district. And, I've heard from people both ways in my district. And, if I think a lot of people in the community would love to have had it remain a spot with fruit trees and things like that. But we desperately need affordable housing or housing that's, lower than market rate, at least some of it. And for some of the reasons that Alder Martins mentioned, I will be supporting this. Also, working in the schools during the day, I see firsthand that there are families who desperately need housing. I see, families that are living with others that, that's a direct result of us not having enough housing and us not having enough housing that people can afford. I also see, people that do depend on the Community Partners Campus for resources. So there are a number of real benefits here, that it's right down the street from that. It's on the bus line. And, even at a recent summit that I attended for the school district, it was with the community and strategizing, now and in the future. And the shortage of housing came up. So anyway, for all of these reasons, I will be supporting this. Thank you.
Thank you. Seeing no further comments.
You may begin voting. Excuse me.
Aye.
Motion passes 8-2.
All righty, thank you. Up next is a component of that. This is a joint resolution, or this is from INF and Plans, file number 240811. It's the final resolution approving the vacating and discontinuing certain right-of-way along East Thomas Street, abutting a portion of 700 Grand Avenue, and vacating a portion of right-of-way from formerly known as 804 to 806 Grand Avenue, 810 Grand Avenue, 814 Grand Avenue, and 816 Grand Avenue. Now, that passed INF 5-0, and it came out of Plans 4-2. I have a motion from Hanke, second from Watts. No request to speak.
You may begin voting.
Aye.
Motion passes 8-2.
All right, that passes. Up next is public comment and suggestions. Anyone? All right, to entertain a motion to adjourn. From Lukin, second from Watson. You may vote. All in favor? See you later. Going to the Grand Theater. Join us there for the movie. I don't know if there will be popcorn, but it's a no address movie. Hang on a second, I'm going to have to talk to a person. What? I can talk, but let me speak to a resident.
Oh, boy.
I would have food in my